Na mbona nangengania bwana ya mwenyewe? Na nilimwambia wewe I'm actually married.
So what
to 5 breathing wives.
Kazi ya ujasusi ni kazi ambao inakutambulisha ujue ule mtu, mahali yako na vile ako mpaka jina.
Can you tell this honorable court what is the name of that person? Because your honor, money has been poured. Mbona sijakutoa ngozi niuse na pia inatengeneza bags?
Mheshimiwa kweli.
Sasa mimi unaniuliza, si wewe ndio unauliza?
Kwani mimi ni mnyama mheshimiwa?
Between me and you.
Wewe
ulipewa ngapi ndio nimalize? I can double or triple.
Wewe sikiza, hatuko hapa mambo. Tena uoni haya mbele ya koti unataka
hata siwe naongea na wewe.
Na wewe pia mimi ndio naamrisha hii koti.
Katika Qur'an tukufu Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala anatuamuru tukumbushane, kwani kukumbushana kunawafaa waumini. Kwa mujibu wa hadithi, Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam anatushauri tueneze ujumbe wake angalau kwa aya moja. Basi tunatia ari kufanya ambacho ni jukumu la kila Muislamu, kukumbushana mema na kukatazana maovu. Tunakuletea mawaidha za mashehe, wataalam, maustadh, madrasa, makala spesheli na Optifatuma Yakub, mafunzo na historia za mitume na maswahaba, na burudani kupitia nashid na wasifu za munshid. Tazama ukumbi wa Kiislamu nami Alishe kila Ijumaa saa 9:30 katika KBC Channel 1.
For one unforgettable month, football brought us together, and KBC was right at the heart of the action.
Kenya lead!
This journey was made possible because of you, our incredible partners, advertisers, and sponsors.
Full time, and Kenya have done the unthinkable.
You trusted KBC to deliver the passion, the energy, and the thrill of CHAN 2024 to millions of fans across Kenya and the region. From all of us at KBC, we say thank you for walking this winning journey with us. KBC, your true sports partner.
Hana karo ya shule.
Maskini ni kitu mbaya sana. Waishia tu kampo, ukule mbuku kabisa.
Graduate. Utabaki papa hapa.
Kama kuna kitu yao mlichukua, simrudishe tu tafadhali.
Haiwezekani.
Nini mnapigania?
Shamba.
Unafanya nini hapa? Hii ni shamba ya babangu. Shida yako iko wapi?
Alinivamia akiwa na vijana wengine wawili.
Ni kweli ama si kweli?
Now, exactly at the top of the hour, welcome to our broadcast. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Anne Wangeshi. And we start with our top story this afternoon, heading over to the Milimani Law Courts, where we're being informed by our reporter, that is Ruth Wamboi, that Milimani's anti-corruption trial magistrate Zipporah Gishana has released Wangamati and 11 co-accused on bond ranging from 5 million Kenyan shillings to 10 million shillings, with pre-trial set for the 18th of September. If you're just joining us, the breaking news out from the Milimani Law Courts, where the former Bungoma governor was taken shortly after he presented yesterday at the EACC Integrity Center and then afterwards to Kilimani Police Station, is that the anti-corruption trial magistrate Zipporah Gishana has released Wangamati and 11 co-accused on bond ranging from 5 million shillings to 10 million shillings. Currently, before the Milimani's magistrate is none other than the Bomet governor, that is Hilary Barchok, and 2 others in the company of on the dock of 7 corruption-related charges. They are currently before the same magistrate who is hearing this particular case. As and when we get those live images from the Milimani Law Courts in regards to the case that is involving the Bomet governor Hilary Barchok and 2 others who are on the dock with 7 corruption-related charges, we'll be sharing them with you. We come back here to the studio where medical experts in the country are warning that antimicrobial resistance is quickly becoming a deadly threat that Kenya must urgently confront. Speaking during a roundtable in Nairobi County, researchers, policymakers and public health specialists also raised concerns over the high misuse of antibiotics in hospitals and communities, warning that the country risks running out of effective medicine.
When we look at the different categories of patients, we find that amongst children, so the pediatric populations and the neonatal populations, often antibiotic use is in excess of 60%, which means if you go into a neonatal unit now, almost every child will be on antibiotic. And many times children are very sick and the thought is that, oh, children need an antibiotic, children are very sick. But again, we have to think, how do we rationalize that use and make sure they're using the right antibiotics?
Amoxiclav is one of the most important antibiotics that we have in this country. And unfortunately, when ceftriaxone has been taken to be the first and most commonly used antibiotic, amoxiclav has been left and not being used for the purposes that is supposed to be used.
Elsewhere, the National Counter-Terrorism Center says patriarchy is a major inhibitor to women's involvement in preventing and countering violent extremism across East Africa. NCTC Director General, that is Kibiego Kigen, says stereotypes about women are undermining their credibility in security-related matters. Kibiego spoke Tuesday during the opening ceremony of the 2-day East Africa Capacity Building Workshop on enhancing the role of women in preventing and countering violent extremism in East Africa.
The 2-day workshop brings together civil society actors, academics and state agencies responsible for security and gender under the theme enhancing the role of women in preventing and countering violent extremism conducive to terrorism in East Africa. Here the conveners call for the eradication of patriarchal norms that often overlook women's involvement in countering terror.
Many interventions on PCVE operate on the assumption that women are inherently peaceful and religiously moderate, which is challenged by the fact that women can also be perpetrators of violent extremism and they can hold also extreme views.
Women are often the first line of the defense in their homes and communities. By empowering women as a part in PCVE, we move beyond to protection and to prevent their voices are powerful counter narratives against extremist propaganda.
Gendered pathways to radicalization and exploitation of women by terror groups, security sector perspectives on building trust in partnership with women-led initiatives, and multi-sectoral dialogue fostering relations between governments, civil society, academia and communities have been identified as possible solutions to steering women's inclusion in countering terror.
Emphasizing gender-responsive analysis and data while truly empowering women allows their insights to be woven into every layer of PCVE policy and programming.
The workshop will further seek to correct persistent gaps and unlock the crucial yet overlooked potential of women in steering anti-terror narratives from the homes to the communities. Yusufa reporting for Lunchtime News.
And in other news, Isiolo Governor Abdi Ibrahim Guyo has dismissed 10 chief officers and 2 county executive committee members in a cabinet reshuffle. Deputy Governor James Lowassa, who had been serving as the county executive committee member in charge of education and early childhood development, remains without portfolio following the changes. Governor Guyo has consequently assigned additional duties to the 3 remaining CCMs. The reshuffle comes a month after Governor Guyo survived an impeachment motion in which 31 senators voted against his removal.
The changes take effect immediately. By a copy of this letter, the County Secretary and Head of Public Service is directed to supervise the handing over process and submit a report, therefore, by close of business on Friday, 5th September 2025.
On the political front, Kakamega County Governor Fernandez Baraza has clinched the Orange Democratic Movement County Chairmanship position after polls held at the Kenya Medical Training College campus in Ikolomani. Governor Baraza was declared the ODM chair by the returning officer Felix Ngala, and party officials led by Violet Ananda. Baraza pledged to keep the party visible and vibrant in Kakamega County with a focus on ensuring ODM secures majority seats in the 2027 general election.
The Orange Democratic Movement grassroots election in Kakamega County were not free of challenges after chaos and walkouts rocked the process. Delegates Alat Delugari, a member of parliament, Nabi Nabuera, who had declared interest in the seat, dismissed the polls as unfair, staging a walkout out of the Kenya Medical Training College campus in Ikolomani, the venue for the exercise.
Sasa hivi wanajitangaza. Wanaendelea kujitangaza. Sisi tumesimama imara kukomboa Kakamega.
Flanked by 5 legislators, Nabuera held a parallel meeting at a public ground where his delegates endorsed him as Kakamega County Chairperson.
Nataka nikubaliane na uamuzi wenu wa kunichagua mimi kama mwenyekiti wa
Back at the official venue of the grassroots poll, returning officer Felix Ngala declared Governor Baraza as the winner and legitimate county chair. Baraza immediately unveiled the executive team, including Likuyani MP Innocent Mugabe, who is the coordinating secretary. The disputed grassroots election had been postponed last week after chaos and delayed for hours on Monday, before ending in parallel declarations. Elsewhere, Ndia Member of Parliament George Kariuki has warned that the Mount Kenya region should not allow itself to be led by leaders with no vision.
Wewe kama unataka kutuongoza hapa Mount Kenya, ambia watu, mimi nataka kuinua maisha yenu kupitia hii njia, kupitia hii sera na kupitia hizi programs. Hiyo ndio itawasaidia.
He made the remarks in Sagana. Doreen Arange for Lunchtime News.
To some developing story now, President William Ruto has challenged leaders from Turkana County to accelerate SHA registration in the area to guarantee affordable and quality health care for every household. Speaking at State House Nairobi, where he engaged the grassroots leaders, the head of state assured the residents of upgrading and equipping Lodwar County Referral Hospital to improve health services at the devolved unit. Ruto at the same time stated that the government will build 2 modern fish markets worth 700 million shillings and construct a 2.3 billion shillings worth of hostels to ensure university and college students in the region have safe and dignified housing. He further committed a 2.3 billion shilling rural electrification project constructing of a 900 million shilling modern stadium in Lodwar town and expanding the Takwal irrigation scheme with a 2.5 billion shillings investment that will put more than 100,000 acres of land under productive cultivation. Elsewhere, a section of contractors from Busia County have hailed the government for the rollout of the electronic government procurement site, citing its effectiveness in curbing the menace of wage bills. Speaking in Busia, the contractors underscored the need for the country to embrace the EPG system to address loopholes in the procurement sector. This even as they called on the county government to ensure the timely disbursement of funds for their incomplete projects.
All the projects zile wameanzisha, they are following through tuweze kuzipata. And that's why unaona rais ametoa ile mfumo inaitwa EGP. Ini EGP itamaliza mambo ya pending bill. Pending bill ndio imekuwa ikitumiza sisi macontract. Kwa sababu unafanya kazi, unatumia hela yako, lakini ikifika sasa wakati ya kulipwa, unapeta unaambiwa wewe umeingia kwa pending bill.
Over 100 elderly people aged 70 years and above from Mwireri in Umande Ward, Laikipia County, have received the much-needed relief for food and beddings. The initiative was spearheaded by the International Relief for Africa, a non-governmental organization in collaboration with the Office of the First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, under the program Mama Doing Good. Now, during the donation of the goodies to the elderly, International Relief for Africa CEO Milka Murioki said the program aims to reach over 5,000 senior citizens across the region to alleviate their vulnerability to challenges such as hunger and health complications.
Matatizo mengi ambayo inakuba wazazi wale wa kongwe, kwa sababu vile miaka inaenda wanajipata kuwa na changamoto nyingi. Unapata kwamba wako na shida ya afya, shida ya malishe bora, na ndipo shirika letu likaangalia likaona kwamba hili ni jambo la maana kuja kuwashughulikia tu na tuwape msaada kulingana ambao tunapata.
Kuna furaha sana kusema wakati hii, especially this time, tumepata usaidizi mkubwa kutoka ofisi ya Her Excellency Mama Ruto, and we really as an organization we want to say thank you very much.
Mimi yangu ninasema Mungu ambariki, sababu Mungu ndio anawezesha kila kitu yote, sababu na hii kazi yote mnafanya iwe kumbwa, ienee kila mahali.
Tunashukuru hii kikundi ya international, hii ushirika ya international akutuletea chakula, na sasa watukumbuke sana kwa sababu upandia Laikipia ni semi-arid area.
To the coast, where a section of leaders from Rabai in Kilifi County have called on companies operating in the area to be at the forefront in undertaking community projects. Now led by Kilifi Deputy Governor Flora Chibule, the leader said that apart from offering job opportunities, the companies have a role to improve the lives of residents by undertaking projects that will benefit them directly. Chibule spoke during the commissioning of the Ribe dispensary constructed by the Rabai Power.
Lazima tupate matunda ya wao kuwekeza hapa Rabai. Pamoja na hayo, ajira pia ya vijana wetu. Vijana wengi hawana ajira hapa.
In terms of employment, we make sure that the local community benefits from this facility. First, 50% of our employees come from this region. These are permanent and pensionable.
Tuna makampuni karibu 15. Sini zaidi pia. Kumbuka wako size tofauti kama vidole, si ndio? Kuna wale wakubwa na kuna wale big fish and small fish, si ndio? Lakini lazima wacheze kama wao, si ndio? Wacheze kama wao.
Na viongozi wetu, asanteni.
Migori County residents have been applauded for understanding the need for interreligious coexistence that has held peace among the communities. During a meeting of religious leaders, Agria Momo, an officer at the Chemi ya Ukweli, a local NGO, said that there was a time Christians, Muslims or non-believers could not sit together, but now things have changed. The forum, convened in partnership with the Joint Initiative for Strategic Religious Action, sought to enlighten participants on freedom of religion and belief.
Issues of drug abuse, issues of conflict in Migori, issues of gender-based violence, issues of governance. Muslim religious leaders going into churches and preaching and answering into questions that many Christians were not understanding before, and vice versa. So I think we see more tolerance, we see more.
A section of leaders in Kiambu County have raised concerns about the new procurement system, saying it is not yet the best option for Kenya. Led by Kiambu County Assembly Speaker Charles Thiongo, the leaders urged the Ministry of Finance to withdraw the directive to all government institutions to migrate to the new electronic government procurement services until training is done.
Right now, we are here, we can't procure any of even our essential supplies. It becomes a problem. We can't procure a single thing because the system is still being tested. If you are to ask me, the government should actually have done a test run of this system before rolling it out. But now they are rolling it out, and then they are doing the sensitization and training thereafter, which of course is affecting our operations.
First of all, you've not dealt with the e-citizen. Then you bring in another new system which has not been tried or tested. Are we not compounding the problem? Are we not making corruption now, institutionalizing corruption through a new procurement system?
A section of President William Ruto's allies from Ukambani region have strongly defended Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale against a plot to impeach him over graft at the Social Health Authority SHA. They vowed to defeat any attempts by their rivals to impeach the CS, claiming it was a scheme by graft cartels fighting back.
Speaking at the Boda Boda Empowerment Program in Matia, Kitui County, UDA leader said CS Aden Duale is keen on fighting corruption in the health sector. UDA Organizing Secretary Vincent Musyoka dared the opposition to table the impeachment motion, saying such attempts will be rendered futile.
Kuna watu sijui wanajiita Kenya Moja Alliance. Wanapiga kelele ati wanasema oh, we are going to impeach Duale. And for what reason? Because Duale is cracking down on fictitious fake institutions that are trying to siphon money from SHA, just the way they were doing with NHIF. Sasa mimi nashangaa. Nyinyi mnasema muta-impeach yeye. Simulate, tutaangusha, my friend.
The leaders commended the CS and the Directorate of Public Prosecutions for taking decisive action against hospitals found to be engaging in fraudulent claims.
In fact, I'm telling Duale, wewe Duale, tafutana na hii ghost institution yote, hizi mahospitali yote ya ni ghost, ambao wanajaribu kuclaim pesa ya uongo. Tafuta yote ifungwe, zote shut them down.
Na ofisi ya DPP ichukue hatua, sio kufunga tu hospitali peke yake. Wenye hizo hospitali tunataka kuwaona wako ndani.
At the same event, Kitui East MP Nimrod Mbae and Kitui South Legislator Rachel Kaki, they hailed President William Ruto's recent directive to release all impounded bodabodas that have been confiscated over petty crimes.
Hizo bodaboda zote ziachiliwe, situwaje kukaa polisi, ziende zikasaidie vijana.
Kama bodaboda iko katika station ya polisi, na hiyo bodaboda haina criminal case, iachiliwe, huyo mtu apewe bodaboda yake, akatengeneza, aweze kurudi kazini.
Giverson Maina, Lunchtime News.
Migori County residents have been applauded for understanding, rather, that is the initial story of peace. But the residents of Kugitura village in Kuria West, Migori County, have raised concerns about the dilapidated state of education infrastructure in Kigutira Primary School, saying it hinders children's access to quality education. Speaking at the school, where pupils are taught in cramped, rusted metal-walled classrooms with poor ventilation, the residents accused the county government of neglecting early childhood development ECDE facilities since devolution began.
Hawa watoto hapa katikati wote wanategemea hii shule. Kwa hivyo hili silo la kubeza na hii si shule ya kuignore. Kwa hivyo kuanzia kwa MCA, kwa waziri na kwa governor, ni changamoto kwenu kwamba mlika sasa mataa yenu ya uongozi wenu na maendeleo.
Shule hii imeachwa kwa miaka 12 bila darasa. Tunaomba kwamba kabla ya mwaka kesho kufika, darasa la pili na la tatu ya ECD yawe yamejengwa hapa. Hawa wananchi nao waone faida ya kupiga kura na kulipa ushuru hapa Migori County.
Hawa watoto wanahitaji vyoo vya kisasa na ni wadogo. Changamoto ni nyingi. Hawana madawati, ndio meza tunazo, lakini sasa mahali pa kuziweka ndio hatuna.
Wajenge kwa sababu hawa watoto ndio viongozi wetu wa kesho. Na viongozi ambao tuko nao wakae wakijua miaka 5 huisha. Na haina haja warudi hapa.
22 minutes past the hour. We need to take our first breather here on KBC's Lunchtime News, but I want to inform you that currently before the Milimani Anti-Corruption Trial Magistrate Zipporah Gishana is the Bomet governor, that is Hilary Barchok, and 2 others on the dock with 7 corruption-related charges. Earlier on, the same magistrate had released or accepted the bail terms of Wangamati and 11 co-accused on a bond of ranging from 5 million to 10 million. Okay, I'm being informed that we are going to focus on that particular story before we take that particular short commercial break. As I told you earlier on, that the focus was on the Milimani Law Courts, where the former Bungoma governor, that is Wycliffe Wangamati, was, of course, before the magistrate, that is Zipporah Gishana, and has been released on a 5 million to 10 million bond, and 11 co-accused others who presented themselves yesterday at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Also, the Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok and 2 others are currently before the court. So let's take that short commercial break and then we'll be back with more.
Johnston Mwendo Makau was born in Yatta village in Boni constituency of Machakos County. Makau joined elective politics in 1988, where he contested and won the Mboni parliamentary seat. He retained his seat in the first multi-party elections of 1992. Before plunging into politics, Makau had cut his teeth as an editor and marketer at Longhorn Publishing Company, one of the leading publishing firms in Kenya at the time. Shortly after his election, he was appointed to the cabinet, where he served as minister for 10 years. As a youthful minister for information and broadcasting, he spent most of his time fending off local and international criticism of President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi's government for muzzling media freedom. During his tenure, journalists were arrested and locked up in police stations and released without trial for what the government claimed was writing false reports. Makau often held press conferences to defend the government against accusations that it was engaged in such excesses as human rights abuses and violation of people's freedoms. Despite this, Makau is credited with having strengthened the government-run Kenya News Agency network, KNA, by opening up more offices across the country. This provided a platform to explain government policies and to counter anti-government opinions. The minister also forged closer links between his ministry and the Chinese government, which resulted in the introduction of the official Chinese government's Xinhua news agency in Kenya. He also often recognized and occasionally awarded talented local actors and musicians and demanded that they be promoted through the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation TV and radio stations. Makau lost the Mboni seat in 1997 elections, after which he retired from active politics and concentrated in his own businesses. He died in June 2005.
Now with that, of course, recap of the cabinet, we need to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll still have more for you on the other side of business and sports.
This September, Uhuru Park will thunder with revival.
This place that gave birth to a revival to a continent will once again give birth to a revival to a generation.
5 days of worship, word, and breakthrough. Experience word that awakens destiny and presence that transforms lives. Join a nationwide awakening like no other. Come as you are, seeking, believing, expectant.
Rema Feast 2025.
And so here it begins again from the 1st to the 5th of September 2025.
Entry is free.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, 6 men have been arrested in Busia County by the Pest Control Products Board for selling counterfeit pesticides without licenses. According to PCPB Western Region Officer William Mukunzo, the fake products worth 200,000 shillings have been smuggled from Uganda into the Kenyan market through illegal routes. The suspects are being held at the Busia police station awaiting arraignment. Kenya Kenyans have been, however, been urged to buy farm chemicals only from licensed dealers.
Tumekuwa katika hali ya raid mjini Busia, kunasa wale wanauza dawa ambazo hazijasajiliwa hapa nchini Kenya. Hizi dawa, ubora wake, ufanisi wake na usalama wake haujathibitishwa hapa nchini Kenya. Tumepata karibu washukiwa 6, tumewanasa pamoja na polisi na DCI. Hizo dawa ni kama vile Hits, Family, Shenke, Mosquito Mat, zingine Motendum na 7 Dudu Dust.
Sana sana utapata ni kwa zile madawa zinatumika kwa manyumba zetu. Tunazita public health product. So hiyo iko na madhara kubwa sana kwa sababu ni ile unatumia, watoto wako hapo, nyinyi wako hapo, wazazi wako hapo. Ile approach ile tumetumia na tunatumia sana, si kushika watu tu peke yake. Tunashika watu, hiyo ni sheria, lakini tunawaelimisha.
Now, welcome to the world of business. Farmers are being encouraged to embrace sunflower farming to help reduce reliance on edible oil imports. A Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization Director in charge of Industrial Crop and Research Institute, Dr. Simon Omondi, says that the research body is developing more sunflower varieties that are high-yielding and suited for most soils in Kenya as a way of boosting production. He says about 40,000 hectares are currently under the sunflower production in Kenya, whose yield is too low to meet demand.
We are sensitizing and drawing the attention of farmers in the coastal region that within a period of about 3 months, you already have harvested sunflower, and you cushion yourself in terms of income, and then you can actually do an additional crop depending on whether the short rain season will have adequate amounts of rain. You can do 2 crops in a year.
Tech giants Meta said it will introduce more guardrails to its artificial intelligence AI chatbots, including blocking them from talking to teens about suicide, self-harm and eating disorders. It comes 2 weeks after the US senator launched an investigation into the tech giant after notes in leaked internal documents suggested its AI products could have sensual chats with teenagers.
Meta described the notes in the document obtained by Reuters as erroneous and inconsistent with its policies, which prohibit any content sexualizing children. But it now says it will make its chatbots direct teens to expert resources rather than engage with them on sensitive topics such as suicide. The firm said it would add more guardrails to its system as an extra precaution and temporarily limit chatbots teens could interact with. Meanwhile, Nestle has dismissed its chief executive Laurent Frexy over a relationship with a subordinate, marking the company's second leadership change in a year. Shares of the Swiss food giant slipped nearly 2% in pre-market trading in Zurich following the announcement. Nestle says the affair breached its code of business conduct and confirmed Frexy will not receive an exit package after 39 years at the company. He will be replaced by Philip Navratil, a rising executive at the maker of Nesquik and KitKat, as the firm continues to battle weak sales and investor frustration over years of sluggish share performance. Finally, U.S. President Donald Trump has accused India of creating a one-sided trade relationship, saying Delhi has now offered to cut its tariff to nothing. His comments come after Washington imposed 50% tariffs on Indian goods, partly in a response to India's continued purchase of Russian oil. India has called the tariffs unfair and maintained that Russian energy is vital to meet its domestic demand. The tensions coincide with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Putin at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin. Sylvia Gatti for Lunchtime News.
Let's come back here to the country where Kenya will tap the private sector to fund the construction of East Africa's first nuclear power plant. The 1,000-megawatt power plant will be constructed in Bondo, Siaya County. The Kenya Nuclear Power and Energy Agency Chief Executive Officer Justus Wabuyabo says once operational, the plant will have a shelf life of 100 years, with plans to expand the generation capacity of 20,000 megawatts by 2040.
For more than 15 years, Kenya has been toying with the idea of setting up a nuclear power plant to complement the country's grid mix, which is currently dominated by geothermal energy. However, the country has faced funding setbacks and regulatory delays in its quest. Kenya has been working with the International Atomic Energy Agency to help realize its nuclear ambitions. Kenya was hoping to join South Africa, which has the continent's only nuclear power plant in Coburg, outside Cape Town. Egypt, with the help of Russian atomic giant Rosatom, is in the process of constructing Africa's second plant, with plans to complete the plant by 2027. The government now says construction of the 1,000-megawatt power plant will start in 2 years' time.
Itahakikisha kwamba tutakuwa tumepunguza price ya stima, kwa sababu price ya stima imekuwa juu sana, na hiyo inafanya kwamba wananchi wetu wanaumia na hawezi kufanya maendeleo kadhaa.
Kenya Nuclear Power and Energy Agency CEO Justus Wabuyabo says the nuclear plant will add 20,000 megawatts to the national grid by 2040. The agency has completed the much-needed public participation exercise in Bondo, Siaya County, where the power plant will be based.
Tutaweza kuwa na zaidi ya megawati 20 by 2040 ili kuhakikisha kwamba tuna umeme wa kutosha kuwezesha nchi yetu kutengeneza makampuni ambazo zitafanya usalishaji.
Nuclear says the funding of the multi-billion shillings power plant will be done through a mix of public-private partnerships. Apart from generating electricity, nuclear technology will also be used in the medical and agricultural sectors.
Weza kuwa na modular reactor katika every county, kuhakikisha kwamba kila county ina umeme wa kutosha, kuhakikisha kwamba wanaweza kutengeneza makampuni za kuzalisha vitu kadhaa.
There are also growing calls for Kenya to partner with the Russian nuclear agency Rosatom to help build the necessary skills and capacity in the construction and management of the nuclear energy power plant. Rosatom is the biggest operator of nuclear energy power plants in the world.
The government has earmarked 27 billion shillings for local engineers, contractors and suppliers under the Affordable Housing Scheme. Affordable Housing Board Chairman Jeremiah Simu says the funding is designed to make the affordable housing project more appealing to the local private sector and that no pending bills accumulate from the project.
Kenya faces a significant housing deficit of at least 200,000 housing units, which the government aims to mitigate through the Affordable Housing Scheme. Despite the investment opportunity, the private sector is concerned about delayed payments and stiff competition from foreign investors.
So as Kenya National Chambers of Commerce, we want to see how we can protect the basic sectors of the economy for countries so that we can develop.
This has prompted the government to ring-fence at 27 billion shillings for processing payment for locally sourced goods and services.
For local production, so that we are not exporting this to China, we're not importing this from back into the country. This lifts, these are over 1,928 lifts that we want locally assembled. And that is just the next round.
Again, I think I'm very happy to hear that you're hiving off
some things and you want to go into local assembly and finally manufacturing. I think that's where I want us to also give you our full support. And I think I would like to leave it at that. There's much more I would want to say, but I believe we are just giving our full support. Engineers are many in this country. You will not have a shortage of them.
While speaking in Nairobi, when the Kenya Private Developers Association signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry to explore ways of unlocking private capital.
KPDA brings the technical expertise, the practical experience, and the challenges faced by those of us who are property developers. Together, we form a complete chain from policy advocacy to practical implementation.
Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, the government has stepped in to cushion learners in Mbere South and Mwea sub-counties in Embu County. Close to 200 public schools have benefited from the distribution of 2,800 bags of rice and beans, a move aimed at keeping children in class despite the harsh effects of prolonged drought. Public Service and Special Programs Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Roku spearheaded the exercise, saying the food supply was meant to ensure no child drops out of school because of hunger. Roku noted that the government views school feeding programs not merely as a relief measure but a long-term investment in education, improving concentration, performance and learner retention. The area Member of Parliament, Engineer Nabat Murioki, welcomed the initiative, saying it will help reduce hunger-related distractions and encourage regular school attendance.
Kuna pesa imewekwa kwa budget kuhakikisha kwamba hii barabara itawekwa rami. Na mimi nikikaa kwa baraza la mawaziri nitahakikisha kwamba hii wiki ikienda sana, next week the advertisement of tamaking hii barabara imetoka kwa gazeti, ili hii barabara yetu ikifika huko Mashanga iko sawa sawa. Tuko na rais, sio mbali na barabara, sio mbali na mradi ya maji ambayo yameanza huko Kamburu, na pia kuna ingine itatolewa hapa Masinga, ili maji ya kulima na kunywa iwe imetosha Makema na Mwea ward.
From the world of sports, with barely 4 months before the 35th edition of the African Cup of Nations kick-off in Morocco, renovations of all the 9 stadia earmarked to stage the continental matches are set to be completed by the end of this month. Host Morocco will kick off the tournament against Comoros on the 21st of December at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium.
Grand Stade d'Agadir in the port city of Agadir in the Royal Kingdom of Morocco has undergone a major facelift in readiness for the African Cup of Nations Finals 2025, set to kick off in December 21st this year. Agadir has been allocated 5 matches, among them 3 in Group F, 1 round of 16 match and 1 quarter-final.
Agadir Stadium in the North African part, the country of Morocco, is a main stadium, one of the 9 venues which will be used to stage the 2025 African Cup of Nations finals, with the main matches being in Group B, whereby South Africa, 7-time champions Egypt, Angola and Zimbabwe will play here. The biggest match in that Group B will pit South Africa against Egypt, the Pharaohs, in December this year.
The ongoing renovations are done in 2 phases, with the AFCON Phase 1 set to be completed by the end of this month. After the AFCON in January 2026, the stadium will be closed again for the second phase of renovations, which will entail expanding its capacity to 46,000 in line with the FIFA 2030 requirements. Morocco will be staging this year's AFCON for the only second time after playing host in 1988.
Reporting from Agadir Stadium in Agadir City, my name is Dismas Otuke.
Elsewhere, 3 Kenyan triplets with autism are preparing to make history as they gear up for an international cycling championship in France. Eric Murimi, Lenny Morea and Ricky Karithi Karishi, all 13 years old, will participate in the Vitus Time Trials in France on the 20th of this month. The race is sanctioned by the World Veteran Sports Federation, the global body that organizes competition for athletes with intellectual and developmental challenges. Frederick Moki has the details.
Children with autism often face hurdles such as difficulties in communication, social interaction, sensory sensitivities, and adapting to change. These challenges, combined with stigma and limited opportunities, make participation in elite sports particularly rare. For the Kairichi triplets, cycling has become a way to overcome these barriers, giving them focus, resilience, and a platform to showcase their abilities.
Even though you're autism, you can do sports. The autism community is you train first. First you train. After training, you can go to compete. Whatever country is it.
They are currently in full residential training in Nanyuki, Laikipia County, under the guidance of Bernard Kabiru Kaviro, a former national team cyclist and coach.
Yao ni tricky, juu lazima ujaribu kuwa una concentrate na barabara na madriver wenye wako na magari na kila mtu kwa barabara, juu sasa unajua hawa wanaenda tu waendi. Kwa hivyo lazima uwe hapa na yani karibu kabisa na hawa ndio uweze kuwa trainee iendelee vile unataka.
The trio will feature in Vitus Time Trials in Roybon, an international cycling championship in France. The team is appealing to well-wishers to help raise 2 million shillings to enable the triplets and their technical crew travel for the competition.
Challenges is finance, and I can say that the parents have really gone out of their way because this program is very expensive. And even just for any normal parent, it's not a walk in the park.
First of all, to the government and the Ministry of Sports to look into the autism community, because we have special challenges, so that they can be able to give the community access to sports equipment and also the coaches.
Should they make it to France, the Kairichi triplets will not only represent Kenya on an international stage, but also break new ground in inclusive sports, proving that athletic talent can thrive regardless of disability. Frederick Moki for Prime Edition.
We do wish the trio all the best as they prepare for that particular tournament that is 18 days away in France. Now to Europe, where English Premier League leaders Liverpool have signed striker Alexander Isak from Newcastle United for a British record transfer fee of £125 million. Newcastle sources claim the deal could be worth as much as £130 million with add-ons. The Sweden international Isak, age 25, had a medical on Monday before signing a 6-year contract, and a deal takes Liverpool's summer spending to about £416.2 million without add-on fees. Isak will wear the number 9 shirt with the Reds. Isak is this afternoon. Do join us in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Anne Wangeshi. You can always find more on our webpage at www.kbc.co.ke. Good afternoon for now.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. If not, get yourself a digital set-top box. Next, connect your set-top box to an aerial and the aerial to your TV. Use RCA cables, yellow for video, red and white for audio, or simply plug in an HDMI cable for high-quality sound and picture. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
They say the art without art would just be get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered.